Okay, we are live. We are officially live. Hello, everybody. Let me get my phone real quick. The market is now open. The market is now open. Market open. Gabe, Cameron, Nate, Uriel, Jason. Nate, you're almost first. Ray, what's up? Let me tweet this out to the world that we are open. Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are having a good day. I actually made myself some tea today. I was like, why not? Let me make myself some tea. Life is hard, so you gotta make yourself some tea. That's the way to do it. All right, let me just put this on Twitter real quick. Sam Bankman-Fried has tweeted 32 times this morning. He has let out a hell of a story. We're going to talk about it just now in a second. Obviously, lots to talk about. And Ahad, what's up? Cameron Investing, what's up? Let me put this in the Discord. I just noticed, Gabe, you were talking in the Discord this morning. Okay. I did not know anything. I did not know you were talking. Me and Tom actually talked about bear market or bull market going forward. So we talked a little bit more about it on the show today. Hello, everybody. Hello. Amit, few people said you and I should have our own regular show. Just putting it out there. I think the late night stock talks basically is that regular show. It's just hard to do it late night every night. I think that's like the best way to like do a podcast, to be honest, Gabe. But yeah, I agree. I mean, we should definitely just chop it up whenever we have time every week. It can even be on your channel too. I don't care. Anything is fine. But I agree. Did he tweet I'm rich? Well, he tweeted something a little bit different than that. Okay, so first of all, hello everybody. Hello everybody. Good morning. Let's get into Sam Bankman-Fried. That's the breaking news of today. The dude has tweeted some stuff. He's basically admitted he's wrong. I just feel like the way he's admitting this stuff is so unbelievable in the context of what is going on in his life that it's kind of laughable. Like, imagine if he's committed a Bernie Madoff level crime. Could you actually commit that level of a crime and then just start tweeting about it like there's no issue? You know, that's the really weird part about this. Let's get, I mean, there's a lot of tweets. We'll get into some of the main ones, but wow, Ginkgo Bioworks down 5.8%, 218 pre-market. Is the market really red? I haven't really looked at it. I know it was red. I don't know how red. Oh yeah, wow, it's bad. Oh, it's bad. Tesla's at 182. What? Oh my. I knew it was red because I saw the futures, but I didn't like. Wow. Palantir gave up all of its gains. S&P at 390 gave up most of its gains from 395. I'm going to give credit to Gabe on this. He said the leg down starts tomorrow last night. And, well, the leg down seems to have started. All right, so let's go through a little bit of SBF and then we'll talk about this. So remember, he said what happened in these letters on November 13th or 14th. Everyone was like, what the hell is he saying? And then he starts getting into it. So this is like the main thing to understand, right? He said, once upon a time, a month ago, FTX was a valuable enterprise. FTX had 10 to 15 billions of daily volume, roughly 1 billion of annualized revenue, and 40 billion of equity value. So they were trading 40 times ARR, which is not unreasonable for a SaaS firm. In 2020, companies were raising valuations at 100 times ARR. Now you're lucky to get like 20 times ARR, right? He says, I was on the cover of every magazine. FTX was the darling of Silicon Valley. We got overconfident and careless. So this is what he said. He says, roughly 25% of customer assets were withdrawn each day, about $4 billion. As it turned out, I was wrong. Leverage wasn't $5 billion, which would give them $1 billion of leeway. It was $13 billion, which gives them negative $9 billion of leeway. There is no leeway. It's a negative $9 billion. $13 billion leverage, total run of the bank, total collapse in asset value all at once, which is why you don't want leverage. And boom, that's where you get an entire collapse. He then talks more. He says, they published my messages. So some messages also came out. I want to show you guys this one around SBF. So Sam Altman tweeted a message here. He said, you were really good at talking about ethics for someone who kind of saw it as a game with winners and losers. This is Sam's response. He says, yeah, haha, or actually hee. I had to be. It's what reputations are made of to some extent. I feel bad for those who get effed by it, by this dumb game we woke Westerners play where we say all the right shibboleths and everyone likes us. That's insane, bro. So basically, these are leaked DMs, and Sam acknowledged that these were real. And the guy was like, "Well, the whole point of SBF is that he was an affective, altruistic person, right? He's doing all of this stuff to be able to give all of his money away. All of that is BS." And people thought it was BS, but he got all the magazine covers, regardless of if it was BS or not. And so someone calls him out on it and says, "Hey, you were really good at talking about ethics for someone who just sees this as a game." And he was like, "Yeah, I had to be. I feel bad for those who get effed by it, by this dumb game we woke Westerners play where we say all the right things and everyone likes us." I mean, literally, the dude is just acting like none of this stuff mattered and he never cared about any of this, care about humanity stuff. Because the whole point of him was that he's making so much money and he's just going to give it all away. I mean, the dude just says that to say that. And I kind of understand it. It's kind of what Buffett and I mean, if you're the richest person in the world, are you going to just brag about your wealth? No, people are going to come kill you, right? Like pitchforks and knives. So you've got to make up some narrative to get people to be okay with the fact that you have all this money and they don't, and you're not giving any of it away. So what is your narrative? Well, I'll give it away when I die. So it's not really mine. And in reality, most billionaires just care about themselves. I'm getting to the point in my life as I get older where I believe no one actually cares about anyone else, especially in business. Everything is transactional. Everything is self-serving. Unless you're a friend of somebody, if it's business, it's business. And the harsh reality of business is no one gives a crap, man. People just want their own money. They want to take what they can take. And that's pretty much it. And it's sad, but that's the nature of what it is. People who haven't caught on that it's all acting, that's all deception at this stage, that's just on you. Sam is pointing it out. Anything connected to mainstream is pure fakery. Yeah. And the thing is, me and Tom were debating today on the show that's going to come out in a bit. We were like, is he going to go to jail? And in my head, in some weird way, I don't know if he goes to jail, man. Like, given what's going on, I don't know if he, like, the fact that he's tweeting Netflix, by the way, down under 300, 294, the fact that he's tweeting like there's no issue and he's just explaining himself, I feel like he thinks he's protected. He's the son of Stanford law professors, rich all his life, went to MIT. I mean, the dude has had life given on a silver platter for him. That's why it led to him feeling like he could do whatever the hell he wants and get away with it, which is really sad because regular people like us can't do that. And I think he feels like he can do anything and it doesn't matter. And it's sad. And I kind of think he thinks he's not going to go to jail. I really do. I really have a feeling that this guy finds a way for him to not go to jail. Everyone is looking out for themselves. Yep. He's the Gene Hackman, Lex Luthor. Yep. I agree. Okay. So I didn't know the stock market was down this bad. Meta is down about 3%. Home Depot down 1%, Walmart down 0.77, Velo 3D down 2.4, Rocket Labs 1.6, Taiwan Semiconductors. So let's look at this leg up, I think, is when Buffett bought, right? So let's go to 6 months or 3 months. So we were at $59 November 3rd, and then we found out Buffett bought, and then boom, 82. So if we do some math, 82 divided by 59 minus 1, that's a 39% increase. 39% increase on so it went up 40% because Buffett disclosed. So if anyone had that insider information, they would have made 40% in order for them to go. All right, we have cowbell. We have 15 seconds till the market opens. First of all, thank you everyone who has been here throughout the entire week. It's November 17th. My sister's birthday is tomorrow. So excited for her. She's going to be turning 29 years old. I deeply, deeply appreciate everyone who has joined me this morning. I started my YouTube channel last year, 2 days ago, November 15th, 2021, and it's been a hell of a journey. And now we're here every morning with about 150, 200 people that care about the market open. And it means the absolute world to me. So November 17th, 9:30 a.m. Thursday, the stock market in the United States of America is now open. Wake your ass up. The stock market is open, and we've got a red market. S&P down 390. S&P touched 402 the other day, so it's about down 6-7% from its 402 range. Square giving up a lot of the gains that was at 75, now going right back down to 65. Datadog as well, Nubank as well. Walmart 147, Roblox 33, down about 3.75%. Netflix under $300 at 295. Netflix above 300 didn't make sense, obviously, but it's down. ARK Innovation, Kathy Wood, I did a video on her the other day, did a new interview. ARK is at $1 billion less than 1 billion of outflows on top of 17 billion of inflows from last year. So investors are still confident in ARK at the end of the day, even though it's at $36. Neo at $10, down 4%. Coinbase getting slacked today, probably with all the FTX stuff going out. What's this 52-week? 52-week low is 40, so it's $5 away from the 52-week low. Coinbase has not touched below $40. That would be a psychological breaking point on Coinbase. Spotify, $79 as well right now. Google made a little recovery yesterday, but it's still stuck at 97 right now, up from 88 or 83, which was its low. Airbnb at 100. Airbnb announced this new product that they rolled out. Look, I've never been bullish on Airbnb stock. I just don't get the story at all. I think it's a bit overvalued, and I don't understand why. Like, the future of travel, I don't know. It's just not that exciting of a story for me, so I never got that. Target, obviously, we saw this massive decline from 180 down to 148. It's recovered a little bit at 154, given everything that has happened. There's no shot we see a 7% terminal rate. Did you see the Fed bullers? Well, never say never. You never know. So happy to catch you live. It's been a while. Yes, Jez, thank you so much for being here. Huge green candle on Tesla. Let's go to Tesla right now. Tesla, 185. Yeah, Tesla's still down. It was at 182. It gapped up a bit, 184. I DCA'd last time at around 184. Goldman Sachs, by the way, came out. Gabe, you'll probably love to hear this. Goldman Sachs came out and they said there is going to be no recession in 2023 because the Fed inflation has peaked and the Fed will pivot. They came out with a report today. The reason I said, Gabe, you'll love this is because he sent me a report 2 months ago from Morgan Stanley saying that the S&P will get to 4,800 by the end of the year. So we talked about it on the Daily Cowbell today, which was like these banks will just say anything because they can point to anything because they'll be like, oh, I was right. I said it would be 4,800, or, oh, I was right. I said it would be 3,200. Like Goldman Sachs is in no place to be saying there's not going to be a recession. I mean, like, but they're just like, no, we don't think there's going to be a recession in 2023. And to be honest, whatever agenda they have to have, the agenda is whatever, but that's how they ultimately, influence the public. So it's really hard to trust a lot of these banks when they do that. Bitcoin, 16,499. I'm surprised Bitcoin hasn't collapsed even a little bit more. Again, I've been very explicit about this. I believe Bitcoin will go to the moon when stocks go to the moon. There is no way Bitcoin is staying suppressed when the NASDAQ starts going up. Bitcoin is positively correlated with the NASDAQ. It's not inversely correlated, which is why it doesn't really have any value in the context of being like a hedge against inflation. Like, no, it moves with the market. So I don't buy Bitcoin because I'm not a fan of Bitcoin. I'm not a fan of crypto as an asset class, to be honest. But if you were wanting to make money on Bitcoin, it will move as the NASDAQ move. Now, if the NASDAQ crashes in 2023, by the way, the NASDAQ is down 30%. The S&P was down, or the NASDAQ was down 60% in 2008. So if we do fall in 2023, there's another 30% to go, which means Bitcoin obviously could fall another 30%. Remember, the all-time highs of Bitcoin were 69,000. You've got to ask yourself if that's possible. Kathy would obviously see this coin being at 1 million in 2030. A lot of things would have to happen in order for Bitcoin to reach those all-time highs. Just like an NFT of a rock that was 2 million in May 2021, probably not going to be worth that much anytime soon. Zoom, $81. I'm wondering when Zoom's earnings are coming out. Alibaba has earnings today after the bell, I believe. Yeah, Alibaba has earnings today, so we'll be able to cover those. Nelson, what's up, man? It's been so long. Hope you are doing well. Hope everything is good in the new country as well. Awesome. You're gonna regret not getting some of it. Maybe, but like I need to sleep well at night, and I don't have that much money to be like, oh, I gotta just put my money in this thing that could go up or down. With that's like, it depends on how well you can sleep at night. If you can sleep well at night, then it's okay. If you can't, then it gets harder to invest. Okay, let's go to the talking heads on CNBC. Let's see what they are speaking about and get a little bit more deeper in everything going on. Here we go. Okay, inflation is coming down harder and faster than expected. Here we go. Let's listen to this one. He has $1 worth of it. Yes, Nelson told me to buy $1 worth of it, so I got $1 worth of it. All right. Oh, Baba earnings already posted? Okay. All right. So we'll watch this, and I'm going to pull up Baba earnings while we're watching this, and then I'll pull that up.
Inventories, which are rising and to the moon and beyond. This is all the stuff. The other thing you see is not only are savings rates declining, but consumer loans is exploding. So they've run out of cash. They're on their credit cards. I went out to dinner last night in the city. I mean, the restaurants are packed. Chicago's packed. Miami's packed. And you kind of like, who are these people? And they're actually now on their credit cards. So it has to end. The spending spree that was stimulus induced with no savings and on debt, it had to end. So the Fed is really the icing on the cake. I mean, and now they're disrupting and will destroy future growth of the economy, lowering the growth rates because companies won't build plants. We won't build, the real estate complex will grind to a halt. And so they will hurt future growth. And I think the third most important chart is, and this one is key, is the CPI. They got to bring that up. What's actually happening in CPI and why the inflation is going down. No. Year-over-year growth. Okay, that's it. So, so the orange line is actually what the Fed is reporting for rental growth, and that line was up like 0.7 last
just
month.
Just because CPI doesn't accurately reflect what's
but look at the blue line. That's actual rents. Actual rents have turned down, and the government's reporting them going up because of the lag.
Right.
And so you will see in 4 months' time the CPI, a third of CPI is this rent growth. And it's going to go down. So the CPI is going to fall. And look at the other components of CPI, oil. And we're going to frack and drill our way to happiness in the United States. We have plenty of oil. And now money, because it's really a really interesting place. You can get great returns investing in carbon because nobody wants to go there. You're going to get oil prices calm in the United States. Gas prices are already down to 4.5 cubic foot for gas. So inflation is coming down hard, and it is coming down a lot faster than I think people thought. And I've actually been surprised at how rents are sort of rolling over. And they're growing still, but they're growing at a much slower pace. And that's what the data shows.
The pandemic was this crazy time. A savings rate of 3.5% and people taking on consumer loans is not surprising. That's just a reversion to what the
to normalcy, right? To normal times.
So it was this crazy like pig and the snake, or whatever you want to say for it. However, it's gotten into wages at this point because people have been able to go to their employers and say, we're not making enough to get by. Unions have come back with some pretty tough negotiations. And that's where you wonder, okay, that it was the supply chain that caused it, all this excess money from the pandemic, but does it work?
Well, we talked about there is not a supply of goods. There actually was no supply of labor. People weren't back in the office. They were working from Montauk and Jackson Hole. Kids were flying around. And even today, the older people over 55 and younger people less than 24, they haven't re-entered the workforce the way they had prior to pandemic. I assume in a recession, they're going to come back. But you've had a late.
Yeah. And the reason they would be coming back as well is because this whole like quiet quitting thing doesn't happen when, you know, a recession happens and it's hard to build an independent business. Couple of comments and then we'll go to, but ultimately, so Gabe says actual rents have risen in Charlotte. Yeah, like there's conflicting data coming from all different levels. And I think that's another thing that influences how we think about rents and inflation. Binance CEO did an interview. I saw that. We'll pull that up in a second. Hey, Mitt, I read on our Palantir that a load of SBC investing is due in December. Do you know anything about this? Yeah. So a lot of insiders are going to have to sell shares due to vesting. So we're going to see a lot of sells and a lot of sales from Alex Karp. He hasn't sold since December 2021. He's going to be selling for his vesting. But granted, that is not actually selling, right? Selling for tax purposes, all that stuff. He has not sold a single share for personal use, which is nice. Some of the other insiders have, but Karp and Thiel have not. Okay, Baba earnings. E-commerce firm reported adjusting earnings of $1.82 per U.S. share on revenue of $29.12 billion. So they missed revenue a little bit, but they beat EPS. Over a year-on-year basis, Alibaba's earnings rose 15%, while sales increased 3%. Yeah, that's not amazing. And the reason that's not amazing is because Alibaba is so big at this point that, you know, to only increase sales by 3%, it means that they're not this huge juggernaut anymore. Obviously, I think they would be valued a little bit higher if the China stuff wasn't as intense as it was. But to only grow 3% year over year, I mean, that's not high growth. Sales only being up, that's just not high growth at the end of the day. Just hit 300 shares. Congrats to Joel. Everyone congratulate Joel. He got 300 Tesla shares. If Biden is going to stop releasing oil from the strategic reserves, which artificially kept oil prices low and needs to refill it, so oil is going up. Yeah, that's also not going to be good. Another thing Biden is doing is thinking of extending the student loan moratorium because if you guys didn't see the Ninth Circuit in Texas or whatever, a federal judge said, hey, we are canceling the student loan stuff. We are not letting student loans happen. We're not letting the president unilaterally get rid of $10,000 per student loan, which would have printed about $500 billion of value. And so as a result of that, Biden might have to extend student loans, which is not great for SoFi stock owners. So, we will see if they're able to get rid of this 10,000. A lot of this was midterm rhetoric that, if we get rid of the $10,000, then, people will vote for us, which it ended up working because the Democrats maintained a majority in the Senate and barely have a minority Republicans barely have a majority in the House. But nonetheless, I mean, we're going to ultimately see how it happens and how it goes for SoFi. How are you liking the SoFi app? SoFi had a major outage yesterday as well. They were down for like 10 hours, 400,000 users had issues. I had issues using it. I don't use it on a daily basis. I use Robinhood right now because the app on SoFi it kind of sucks, to be honest. So it's really laggy, all that stuff. I think they'll figure their stuff out, but it didn't affect me because I don't use it. But I know some people use it on a daily basis, and that probably was really like if Robinhood had an outage one day, I would be really mad, right? Because I use Robinhood. Amit, do you believe in the yearly Christmas rally? It happens by 80% of the time. It depends so Gabe made a good point about this last night. If we go down on the S&P soon to like 34, 3,500, we might have a rally back to 3,900. But the question becomes if that ends up happening. So there might be a rally, but it depends on what level. All right, CEO of Binance talking about FTX. Let's hear what he had to say.
Take us back, if you could, to when you first got the call from Sam and you first had a chance to look at the books, because I think a lot of people are still trying to understand exactly what happened here. How much of this was about commingling? How much of this was about terrible marking of the books? What did you see?
Yeah, I think I got a call from Sam 48 hours after I made the tweet, and then he wanted to talk. So at the beginning, I thought he would just wanted to, do a buyout do an OTC deal to buy out the FTT tokens we had. And then he wanted actually a buyout of the entire firm, of the entire FTX platform. And then, but then we got our team on it. It was pretty clear pretty soon that there's, there's misappropriation of user funds. The user funds are gone. At that point, it's clearly that he lied to his users, his investors, his VC investors, his employees. At that point, I thought I couldn't, like whatever data that's in the data room, we couldn't trust anymore. So it was quite hard for us to do that due diligence. So we didn't go very far.
We've all seen his tweets now overnight. Do you think he understood what he was doing?
I think he thought he understood. I think he probably still think he understands what he's doing now, which I don't think he should be tweeting.
That's for sure. But in terms of intent, I mean, one of the things that's going to be looked at, I'm sure, by regulators, potentially by prosecutors, is what he intended to do. He seems to suggest in a lot of these tweets that he didn't understand, or he mismarked things. And when I say mismarked things, mislabeled things is what I think is the phrase that he's used. And yet, when you looked under the books, clearly it appears that he was demonstrably commingling funds, using the funds to leverage himself up and the like.
Yeah, I think, look, I didn't do the due diligence myself, but I think it will be very, very clear that Sam knows that he was using the user funds to do trading for Alameda, and he has been probably doing this for quite a while that nobody else knew until very recently. Well, a small number of people in FTX probably knew, but most of the other normal employees probably did not know. I think that's probably the most likely situation.
One of the things that I think this has demonstrated to the public about crypto is just how leveraged the business is, how so many of these coins, that FTT token and other tokens have been used to leverage other tokens. How concerned are you about that? And how much leverage is in the Binance system, if you will?
Sure. So I think we are very concerned about anybody using the token they create for leverage, as a collateral. At Binance, we don't do that. We don't use BNB as collateral for anything we do. So it's very simple. Yeah.
But when you think about the health of the quote unquote balance sheet of so many of these firms in the crypto space, in the ecosystem, how much of those balance sheets do you think are actual fiat currency that has some stability versus some kind of token or other kind of cryptocurrency that may or may not actually have the value that it pretends to have, in part because the float of some of these tokens is so low that it appears the other piece of it is that some people are almost artificially inflating the valuations of these things.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things here. There's the user assets. You should just, every exchange should just hold the user assets as is, as chosen by the users, whatever assets they want to allocate to. There's the operational funds for the business itself. That should be in a combination of cryptocurrencies, stable coins, and maybe even some fiat currencies. Every different business can allocate that differently, depending on their risk appetite and the business model. Binance has always been profitable. So even today, we're profitable, we're sustainable. But our rough allocation is about a third in stable coins and then a third in some of the larger coins. And also, we keep the BNB coin that we hold very separately in our accounting. And this has been in our financial reports, even from very early days. So we always keep the BNB separate.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy any of this shit, to be honest, bro. Like, a lot of it is, if you need your own token and you need to do stuff to pump up that, I don't know if I buy it, bro. Maybe I'm being too skeptical right now, but I don't know if I am. BNB token, I mean, Binance probably going to save themselves because FTX is collapsing. So there's going to, and they're hopefully not trading customer funds, and CZ is being very transparent here, you would assume. But this whole token form of collateral, I don't know. Maybe he's right, maybe he's wrong, but I don't fucking buy it. So we will see. All right, back into the markets. Target at 153 down. Tattooed Chef down another 10%. Like, this stock just gets hammered and hammered and hammered. Like, it's actually insane. Like, if you look at the 1 month, you see this, it's at 4, you get this leg down to 3.7. You get this leg down to 3.5, go up a little bit more to 3.5, from 3.4 to 3.5. Then you get this leg down to 260. Now you get this leg down to 2.4. I mean, this stock has just been demolished, bro. Like, it's been hit pretty bad. So we got the Chef that's been pretty destroyed. Datadog at 80, Square 67 also getting hit from 75, Arc Innovation at 37, Roku at 55, Enphase, of course, at 300, because why wouldn't Enphase just do well? And Open Door at 1.8. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. You're a young person. Why are you reporting on Target? Well, Target's important because Target gives us an understanding of inflation and inventories. You know, I'm not buying Target, but Target matters. But Sonny has a good point. I mean, if you are young, which I don't know, that's subjective, but I'm in my 20s, you should be. If you fit the style of an investor that wants to hold something for 10, 15 years, you know, buying something like a Palantir or something, these are the times to buy it. And even if you're not young, you know, if you have 10, 15 years left in the market, you got to look out for those 10, 15 years and see what you can buy. But yeah, I wouldn't be buying Target right now. I do want to get my dividend game up. I don't have any stocks that really pay me dividends. Like, I want to just start every month DCAing into, what is it? SCHD, Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. Yeah. I just want to start buying it and just, it's what, like a 4% yield. It's not amazing. It's 3.27%. All right. So it's not amazing. You know, Robinhood's giving 3.75% right now in uninvested cash. But, you know, just starting that portfolio and keeping that there forever and just literally not touching that money. Feds Bullard, he says, to avoid the mistakes of the 1970s, the Feds will want to err on the side of keeping rates higher for longer. Yeah. I mean, unless inflation is massively down, we are going to see the Fed continue to be bad. And continue to be, you know, hawkish. Should we withdraw our money from Binance? I can't give advice on that. I just don't feel any of these crypto exchanges are legit. And self-custodian is the term I've heard used to be able to keep your crypto legit. I don't know if Binance is a self-custodial wallet. I don't think it is. So if it's not, then probably not the best place to put it. Negative sentiment is huge at the moment, but still some expect a big dip in 2023. Well, we will, I mean, yeah, usually you do the opposite, but we will see. Look at JPI for dividend ETF. JPI. Oh, cool. I didn't even know there's this dividend ETF. They're giving a 10.94% yield on this? Oh, that's not bad. 10% yield? Is that a thing or is that wrong? That's not bad. Shit. That's 10%. That's a hell of an offer. That's not bad. Not your keys, not your crypto. Dividends just transfer short-term taxable gains to holders instead of using it for growth, ultimately paying. Yeah, I mean, that's the bad part about it. Like, look, if you have a $500,000 position making you 6-7% every quarter, it's not or every year, it's not the worst thing in the world. But obviously, yeah, I mean, that is just more taxes because you have to pay a lot more taxes on this stuff. You need to look into ENVX, Sexy Battery Company from TJ Rogers, the architect of Enphase turnaround. EVNX. Let's look at that one. For those who don't know, Sonny in the chat, he put a lot of money into Enphase when it was like 65 cents. And well, Enphase is $300 right now. So we know how that worked out for him. Yo, that must be like the coolest thing in the world, bro, to just buy something that no one knows about. But for some reason, you got wind of it. And then out of nowhere, you get like a 200x. And you're just like, well, I don't have to work a day in my life ever again, right? Like that must be the craziest thing ever. Like in 2017, Enphase was 65 cents. If for some reason Sonny had just convinced me, if I knew him somehow, if he went to Rutgers, New Jersey, he was like, Amit, you got to buy the stock, put $10,000 in it. And I'm like, why? He's like, do you have 10,000? I'm like, yeah, just put it in there. And then it turns into 500,000. Like, could you imagine, bro? That'd be crazy. That's just absolutely insane. My dividend stock is Coke, quite recession proof and a massive leader in their space along with PEP. Yeah, Coke is Coke. Buffett has always, touted Coke, but it makes sense. It's a good stock to own. I mean, Coca-Cola is better than Pepsi. I'd put it Coke or Pepsi in the chat. I'm pretty sure we would imagine it's Coke. 93 cents. Look at this. He got into it at 93 cents. Unbelievable. Absolutely amazing. Okay, what was I was another stock I wanted to pull up. I think I wanted to pull up Baba. I want to see how Baba's doing. Okay, so Baba's up 3% on their earnings. Earnings were not amazing. They were kind of flat, but Baba is still up 3%. Apple is down to 147. Tesla down 184. So it's a red day for the market. We've had a couple of good green days. I mean, obviously, like Netflix hitting 312. I don't know who the hell was buying Netflix at 312. Like, I just don't get it, bro. Like why? Like buying any of these stocks throughout the past couple of days, especially we know Netflix is not a $300 stock. Like we know this. Netflix was at 252 9 days ago. Like it's not supposed to go up to 312 that quickly. Like that's it. That's if anything has shown us in 2022, it's shown us that that's stupid. That's not real. That doesn't just happen. Sonny says, I thought it was going to be a short-term trade. I was going to get out at like $2, but they bought in really good execs and the story became more compelling, so I stuck around. Sonny, when was your first sell of the stock? Can you let us know that? When was your first sell of Enphase? Coke is at a 26 PE. There are just way better opportunities in growth right now. Yeah, I mean, look, I think FANG has an opportunity in growth. Like, if you believe that Meta has 3 billion users and they're going to do something with those 3 billion users, that's an opportunity for growth. Now, the metaverse is a different discussion, but nonetheless, that matters. Google at 97, right? Look at the max on this was 152. If you believe that people are going to be searching forever and that it's not going away anytime soon, there's an opportunity. Where's Amazon right now? Amazon is at 95. Oh, wow. Amazon's actually down. So the max on Amazon is 188. So Amazon has lost half of its market cap from 188. In COVID happened here. We were at 97 in March 2020, and it doubled at the top of 2021, and that's when it started coming down. So, I mean, that also could be a different advantage for Meta going forward. Also, Palantir has a new deal today. Let me pull that up. I actually saw that press release. Sundex Palantir. I was thinking of making a video on this actually in a second. Let's pull this up. Saw the press release on Twitter. If anyone has it, feel free to send it because I don't know if I can find the exact quote, exact PR. But it's a new press release with an energy company. And the energy company, oh, hold on. I think I have it pulled up. Do I have it pulled up right here? Here. Oh, yeah, here we go. I got it. Okay. I pulled it up already. Okay, so let me share my screen. It's called Sonidex and Palantir. Sonny says, I sold here and there, but along the way, enough to live frugally, but I always kept the vast majority position, at least. So you still have 90% of the position, Sonny? Because that's amazing, bro. If you do, that's a hell of an accomplishment. Okay, Sonidex and Palantir partners to support digital transformation and to maximize the production of solar energy. So this is from London. Sonidex, a renewable energy producer, today announced a partnership with Palantir. The multi-million-dollar partnership is 4 years to transform and further capitalize on its vast renewables infrastructure and streamline operations for data-driven decision-making. Sonidex will use Palantir Foundry to support and improve the company's processes along various business functions, including finance, operations, and IT to help scale the business grows. Foundry gives operators a comprehensive overview. This is Palantir's first commercial agreement with a pure-play renewable energy company. One of the first use cases centers around the improvement resources needed to maintain Sonidex's vast number of solar plants by using commercial satellite imagery, AI, and ML models to identify. Okay, this is pretty cool. I will probably do a video on this right after the live stream. Quote from the co-founder of Sonidex: Palantir will reshape our business by creating fully integrated tools that allow operators to see all of our data in real time. Our teams will rely on Foundry to make critical business decisions throughout our operations. The ultimate goal is to see a Foundry throughout all phases of the company. Sham says Sonidex is a true pioneer in the renewables energy industry and an impeccable track record. As the world transitions, its energy needs to be increasingly important. Our partnership represents our commitment. Let's go to Sonidex's website and see what they actually do. So this is the website. Sonidex continues evolving to become a key player in the energy transition. Okay, we are a renewable energy producer with over a decade-long trajectory of sustainable growth. They develop, build, and operate renewable energy projects. So basically, companies client them. This is in Chile. This is one of their projects. And they build out entire energy portfolios and projects for different companies that use them. Not bad. This is pretty cool. This is a deal. Another commercial client for Palantir. I mean, Palantir should be getting these deals. That is a good thing. TTCF just keeps crashing down. Oh man, it's hard for them. All right, let's go back into CNBC and let's see a little bit more of some stuff going on. Here we go. Okay, JP Morgan, there are signs of improvement on inflation. Let's hear what she has to say about why inflation is getting better. By the way, shout out to 217 people being here. Appreciate you. Check out the link in the description for my startup. We'll love your feedback. Audia.io/register would mean the world to me if you guys sign up and give me any feedback. All right, let's get into this.
Short time ago, we got some comments from St. Louis Fed President Jim Bullard, some hawkish comments saying it's possible we might need a top federal funds rate of 7% and the dovish notion 5%. Let's talk more about the markets with Mira Pandit, global market strategist at JP Morgan Asset Management. I guess we should take them at face value, Mira. I think a lot of times that job owning is a technique or tough talk is something that the Fed employs so that they don't maybe actually need to get to the numbers that they talk about. But do you believe 7% is a possibility if inflation stays really stubborn?
We don't want to rule anything out if inflation does stay persistently high, but we are seeing signs of improvement on inflation. I think the report that we got recently from CPI couldn't have really been better. Realistically, if we think about some of the progress we made on goods, on commodities, on supply chain, some areas of services, even owner's equivalent rent went from scorching hot to kind of just boiling hot. So we're making some progress. We don't want to make too much out of just one report because we could very well see a backslide. But I think it is very important for the Fed to continue to message tough so we don't see too much of an easing in financial conditions and we don't see the markets get too ahead of themselves.
We spent a lot of time with some people before you, Mira. I have to apologize. But in 30 seconds, do you think the midpoint of 5 to 7 is what's in the cards? And that's going to be scary enough. I think that's why the market's down.
It could be that we don't even have to get quite to 5%. You know, we see market pricing move all around. We see Fed speakers talk tough, but we are seeing some progress on inflation. We continue to see growth resilient, which perhaps could push the Fed funds rate a little bit higher. But I think that the 5% range is still a reasonable estimate for where we need to go to get inflation under control.
Okay. Cool. That's it for today. Someone says DNA all-time low. I might be buying DNA today. I sold at 292 because I was like, the way the macro was going. I sold a bunch. I sold Google at like 100. I was like, it's not going well right now. I only had 10 shares, so it's not a big deal. I I might be thinking of buying into DNA very soon, because this is the time where, it should be getting a lot lower than what I would want it to be at. 206. Look at this. It's 6 cents away from being under $2. Small little buys for me on DNA. I'm very sold on the thesis. The story makes a ton of sense. The question is just the macro. The real question is just the macro. And so we're going to be able to see what happens. Fed talks the talk, so they probably short the Fed is short the market. Imagine the Fed was able to short the market, and they're like, yeah, we're just going to keep raising interest rates. And meanwhile, they're printing billions of dollars by being short the market. That'd be insane. All right. That's pretty much it for me today. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining. 219 people means the world. I'm going to use Nate's life hack of brushing in the shower. I've never done that before. So if anyone wants to do that, you can let me know how it feels tomorrow on the morning stream. I can't believe it's Thursday. We're getting into Friday. So yeah, last 2 days left of the week. This week has been a little challenging for me on a lot of aspects, but I've pulled through. Just got to keep going. Just got to always keep going, no matter how hard it is. It's definitely not been the easiest week, but got to keep going because life stops for no one. Got to be grateful to be alive. Got to be grateful for doing this, and just got to keep going. Can't stop. Got to keep going. If anyone that wants to check out this book, it's called Above All Else. It's a book revisited. It's about a skydiver who was in a plane crash. 8 people died. He got severely injured. Dan Brodsky Sheffield and or Chenfield. And the doctors told him he would never skydive again. And, well, you guys probably know what happens. It's only 150 pages. It's really short. The other 150 pages are just his manual on how to survive life and stuff. But it reminds you that people have been through much worse than you have in life, and they figured a way out, and you just got to keep going. Got to keep running. I brush in the shower all the time. Wow. This is a real thing, apparently, brushing in the shower. Just be careful where to keep the toothbrush. That's a funny one. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow, 9:20 a.m. As always, appreciate everyone who comes every morning. It means the absolute world to me. Truly, I can't thank you guys enough for joining your mornings with me. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye, everybody.